Hello, my name is Dwayne Kimball, owner and founder of KMD 89 VA Claims Consultant, Leave No Vet Behind, and also I'm a United States Army veteran. Today I'm bringing you another educational video as it pertains to the VA disability compensation claims process. And today is part 5 and the final video of my 5-part series on how to be successful in filing your VA disability compensation claim. So if you follow part 1, 2, 3, and 4, you should be able to follow the process from start to finish. And today's video is going to be on rating decision. So you submitted your claim, you've had your compensation and pension exam, hopefully, and you've received the compensation and pension exam has went back to VBA and they've completed a rating decision and you received it in the mail. So what do? You go to the mailbox, you open it up, and you're confused, okay? So today we're going to talk about what are some of the things that I looked at when I received my first rating decisions and some of the things you want to look out for just in case you decide to do a high-level review, okay? So number one, when you get that rating decision, it's going to consist of 2 things. The first few pages is going to be the notification letter. The notification letter is going to outline if you were able to receive an increase, if they confirmed to continue a particular condition, if they service connected you for a condition, or if they denied you, okay? And then it's going to talk about if your compensation changed, okay? So let's just say you got that rating decision in the mail and you obtained 100% overall evaluation, okay? So they're going to tell you, one, what was your old evaluation, overall evaluation if you had one, and what is the new percentage or evaluation, overall evaluation, and the effective date. And then it's going to tell you if you have dependents, if so, when they were added, when they're going to drop off, if they're under the age of 18, okay? And then it's going to give you some additional information. If you didn't get service connected, how do you do a high-level review? If you got denied, how do you do supplemental, and so forth, okay? The second part of that packet is going to be the rating decision itself. This is where a lot of veterans make the mistake. They do not read the actual rating decision. If they get service connected, they look at the retro, what they're going to get every month, and that's it. Then they say, oh, I don't agree with this, or I don't agree with that. I'm going to do a high-level review. And they have no clue as to why or should they do a high-level review, okay? So with that being said, when I received my first rating decision, I get to the mailbox and it was in a manila envelope. And I open it up and I read it. I put it down, took a shower, worked out, took a shower, and then when I laid down for the evening, I read it again. And there was some things that I missed the first time. So when you get it, you want to read it from top to bottom, back to front, at least twice, 2 separate times, okay? And some things that you're looking for, you want to look at that evidence section. Well, first, you want to make sure they got the correct Social Security number, your actual name and the Social Security number correct, okay? And then you want to look through the evidence section. And in my other videos, I did another video when I talked about the importance of having a copy of your actual claim folder. So if you have everything that you submitted to the VA, all of that should be in that evidence section. And there should be some other stuff, if you had a comp and pen exam, the date that you had it. You want to make sure you write those dates down because you may not have a copy of that CMP exam, especially if they've done it through a third-party contractor like QTC, LHI, or VES. So you want to see what evidence did they review. If you submitted some evidence, okay, and it's not in the evidence section, and even though it was service connected or they gave you an increase, but what if it wasn't the maximum increase? If some of the evidence that you sent in could have took you to maybe a 90 or got you over the hump to 100. If that's missing, any evidence that you submitted or any evidence that you feel is missing, that's an error, okay? And you definitely want to look at it because, especially if you get service connected, because it could help you get to the next overall evaluation or overall 100%, okay? But you want to make sure you have a copy of it, so you can call the CUE or clearing up unmistakable error even if the VA decides to service connect. It still could be an error in the overall percentage or the individual evaluation for that particular condition, okay? Next thing, you want to read the narrative for each condition, okay? You want to go through and read exactly why they service connected it, that particular condition, or if they denied the condition. Because sometimes some RVSRs, they'll take, if you went to a copy and pen exam, they'll take the negative opinion from the CMP exam and put it in the narrative along with the doctor's rationale, how they came to that conclusion that the condition was not service connected. But in most times, if they're granting service connection, they may not put that evaluation in there, okay? And then if you submitted a private DBQ and they used it, okay, did it meet the 50, 60, 70% criteria? You want to check that against the diagnostic code, which I talked about in some of my previous videos, okay? So just don't look at it as when you get denied service connection. You definitely want to look at it when you do get service connected, because it could be some possible errors in there, okay? So if you have like, let's say 10 issues that you claim, you want to go through, because it's going to be a large rating, it's going to be quite a few pages. You want to go through and look at each page and read each narrative, especially if they denied it, and also if they service connected, because you want to make sure, okay, if you feel you should have gotten a 40% for diabetes and you end up getting a 20%, that could be the difference between a 90 and 100%, depending on if you have other conditions, bilateral factor, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, okay? So that's why it's important when you get these rating decisions, just don't look at your checking account and see, oh, I got this large retro of $20, $30, $40, $50,000. Oh, it's all good. You still want to read a look at that rating decision, okay? Now, still getting a lot of comments, which I like comments, okay? But it still seems to be some confusion as it pertains to high-level review, okay? A lot of veterans don't understand what's being looked at on a high-level review. A lot of veterans think that, oh, I got denied, I'm gonna do a high-level review and I'm gonna get service connected. That's not always the case, okay? For example, if that condition that you're claiming does not fit in one of the 5 ways of service connection, you claim it, the rater denies you, you don't get a comp and pen exam, you get a rating decision actually denying that condition, most vets say, I'm gonna do a high-level review. And they don't even know, okay, do they meet the qualifications for that particular condition they claim service connection for? Guess what? It's gonna get denied at the high-level review because it doesn't fall under one of the 5 ways of service connection. Or they get denied and they do have a CMP exam, now I'm gonna do a high-level review. Well, and I repeat this so many times in my videos, you're doing a high-level review, you had a CMP exam, you look in the rating decision, and let's just say the rater didn't put the negative opinion. How do you even know why that doctor said no? How are you going to approach that on a high-level review? Okay? You have to understand, I did a video where I talked about in depth on a high-level review, so you definitely, you want to check that out. So just a quick recap. If you go back from part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4, and even this video, I'm bringing you through the VA claims process from start to finish, okay? A lot of people like to put the cart before the horse, and guess what? When you do that, sometimes you may have to go back and start all over again, okay? So again, when you get that rating decision, sit down, read it, make some notes, maybe get a highlighter and highlight some information, put it down, come back later that day or the next day and read it again, okay? And look at the paperwork. If you started to build your own claim folder, look at that paperwork. Look in the evidence section of the rating decision. Are the effective dates correct? If you gave, if you obtained service connection, is the effective dates right? Is that evaluation for that particular condition correct? Okay. A lot of people, they'll miss those effective dates. And I did an appeal back when it used to be called appeals, and they gave me the incorrect effective date for a particular condition. And I remember working with this VSO, and I went to him and I said, hey, they got the incorrect effective date. He was like, but you maximize your benefits. I'm like, but it's an error. They created an error. So when I went to the appeal, I knew I had that document in hand that showed that I requested an increase. I think it was 2 or 3 years prior. Okay. So when I got to that hearing, I knew before I even went into the hearing, I had 8 different things that I was appealing, but that was one. But I had that document in my hand. So when I got on camera, I was doing a video conference with a decision review officer. And when I got on camera, I had my makeshift claim folder in front of me with all the evidence, and I had that document. If I didn't have that document, they kept saying we can't find it, we can't find it. So they didn't go back far enough, because you're talking about 2 years, so that could be a lot of information during that period of time. So once we got on video conference, and I shared this in some other videos, and I just kept telling her, keep going, keep going, keep going, and she did, and she found it. But if I hadn't have done that or had that particular piece of evidence, they wouldn't have went back that far. Maybe somebody would have said, wait a minute, let's see what this veteran is talking about, and took the time to do it. But 2 people had already looked at it, and they didn't go back far enough. Okay, so they just pretty much top sheeted. But I had evidence to prove it. It wasn't what I said, it's what I could prove. And I had evidence in hand to prove it. So if you want to take it to that next level, you have to, not one, you have to be armed, you have to be educated. What are you doing on a high-level review? And then 2, what evidence do you have to support while you're doing a high-level review? Just saying, oh, I got denied, and I feel that I should have got service connected, I'm gonna do a high-level review. You could have went it depending on what the condition is, if you're claiming it due to a presumptive, were you treating service, what was said on the CMP exam, that you have any medical evidence to contradict the VA examiner. There's a lot of variables, but at the end of the day, you still have to be educated on this process. So with that being said, please like, subscribe, hit that notification button, please share, and always check the description section of all my videos. I'll leave a lot of information in there, and I'll get comments, and that lets me know that some of the comments lets me know people didn't look at the description section. So always look down in the description section for more information, okay? So until then, please continue to be safe, and I look for you in my next educational video or my next educational training. Thank you.